Hello, friends. Welcome to BuzzByte. In today's session, I'm going to discuss about Xen Crypto, a very interesting topic today I brought in. The topic is whether the Xen Crypto is an inflationary token or a deflationary token, right? So let me first talk about what is an inflationary token versus what is deflationary token. And the second thing is that why you should be worried or curious to know that whether it is an inflationary or a deflationary token, right? That is also an interesting thing to know because how does it matter to you or how does it impact the price? So we will get into those kind of details, and then I would get into a little bit of data about Xen Crypto and try to put my pitch as to why it is inflationary or deflationary. So this, as I have mentioned before in my previous video, you can check in my playlist. I have mentioned that before that my this particular channel is very much data driven, so I would try to put forth my points using hard data. So we'll look into that. Okay, so let's talk about let's try to understand what is a inflationary token or what is a deflationary token, and why should it matter to us, especially for those people who are heavily invested into Xen ecosystem. To me, I mean, if I'm talking about myself, I'm heavily invested into Xen ecosystem and very much curious or falling on a day-to-day basis as to how this entire ecosystem is evolving and how the price movement will happen in the future. So for me, it's a very important topic. If you are heavily invested in Xen ecosystem or are planning to invest money into the Xen ecosystem, you should be worried about this, right? So let's talk about what is inflationary token versus what is deflationary token. So inflationary token in the crypto world is basically means that any token whose supply keeps on increasing over a period of time. So basically, inflationary token means that, let's say you start with a supply of 1 million over a period of, let's say, 2 years or 5 years or 10 years, this 1 million tokens will become 10 millions either through minting process or there is no max capped supply. So the owner of the contract or the person who is the founder of that crypto, he may have some ways to mint or add in additional supply of tokens into the ecosystem into the so inflationary basically means the supply keeps on increasing over a period of time. Deflationary means that supply keeps on decreasing over a period of time. Okay, especially in the deflationary system, we generally have a max cap supply, right? Or there would be some sort of a burning mechanism by which the number of tokens will depreciate or decrease over a period of time, right? So with Xen Crypto, it's very hard to determine, right, whether it is an inflationary or a deflationary, because on one side you have a lot of mints which are happening, a lot of mints which are getting matured, right? And on the other hand, you have a lot of protocols on projects which are coming up with the burning mechanism, right? So only way we can talk about Xen Crypto whether it is inflationary or deflationary is that the rate of burn, if it's more than the rate of mint or supply, then it's a deflationary token, right? Sorry, if the rate of mint, yeah, if the rate of burn is more than rate of mint or supply, it's a deflationary token. But on the other hand, if the rate of mint or supply is greater than the rate of burn, then of course it becomes an inflationary token, right? So it is very important for the people who are getting into this ecosystem, and also for those people who are heavily invested into this ecosystem, because people are predicting that Xen Crypto will 10x, some people are saying 100x or 1000x, right? But those assumptions or those predictions are valid only if it's a deflationary token, right? If it's an inflationary, basically means the supply keeps on increasing at a certain rate and your price of the token will go down to zero, right? So it is very important to understand whether we can classify Xen Crypto under deflationary bucket because that will determine, how much you need to invest into this ecosystem. And also sometimes what happens in initially a token may be inflationary in the nature, but the rate of burn is becomes much higher than the rate of mint or supply. Then over a period of time it becomes deflationary from inflationary nature, right? So we will evaluate all those things in our today's video and determine whether we can classify this as an inflationary or deflationary. And if you want to invest, how much we should invest. I mean, how much I'm not going to tell you, but this is up to you to determine. But at least for myself, what are the things that I'd be looking forward from the founder as well as from the Xen community who are coming up with a project of protocols, so that this becomes deflationary in nature. Okay, so let's deep dive into this video. But before we get into the main topic of this inflationary or deflationary, for my viewers I would like to bring up, or I would like to tell them few websites which are very important in the Xen ecosystem, which you must track, okay, on a day-to-day basis. If you are trying to invest a huge amount, then you must track these websites, because they give you very invaluable insights into the data behind the Xen ecosystem. So let me talk about some of them, which I would be also referring to in this video. So that's exactly why I'm trying to give a brief background. So one is Network slash backslash mainnet. So this particular website, I think all of you are aware, whosoever is in the Xen ecosystem, because this is where you actually mint individually, like a mint per system, right, or per virtual management unit, VMU. In parlance of Xen, we call it as a VMU. So if you are making a single mint, this is where you mint. But if you are trying to mint using ZenFT, I think all of you must be aware of the concept of ZenFT. ZenFT basically means that it gives you VMU, virtual machine units, right? So here it says 100. It basically means that it's as good as saying that if you buy this ZenFT, you would be this would be equivalent to 100 machines or 100 people minting on 100 different laptops or desktop, right? So let's say if you have 100 different desktop, and each desktop, let's say we mint say 1 million, right? And that 1 million you are going to get it on, let's say, 31st of December 2023. So if, because you are buying this ZenFT, right, then eventually on 31st December you should be able to get 100 million tokens, right? So you don't have to mint over 100 different desktops or 100 different laptops. Instead, one ZenFT which has got 100 VMUs should be able to give you 100 times one machine worth of Xen at a maturity period. So that's in nutshell. I just wanted to explain what is ZenFT, right? So this is where you mint ZenFT. I mean, you buy ZenFT, and then when the maturity period comes, right, that's when you claim, right? So this website, I don't want to get into the functionality or too much of detail about this website, but you can explore it. Maybe I can keep that for a separate video. But those people who are already in the Xen ecosystem, they would be pretty much familiar with this website. But I just wanted to highlight that this website is very important, especially who are people who are going to mint either through ZenFT or individual mints, right? So this is first website. Second website that I closely track is xenturbo.io. This is where you can, it gives you it's kind of a dashboard which gives you a brief overview about the total supply, how much of Xen is staked, But the thing that I especially come to this website, is primarily about this gas cost, right? Because right now, if you look at the Ethereum gas cost, right, especially on Ethereum network, the gas cost is pretty high. Like in the morning when I was trying to do some mint, the gas cost was around 180 to 200, right? Right now it is sitting at 110. So whenever you are trying to do any swap activities on Ethereum network using Uniswap or mint or purchase some tokens on Ethereum network, you should definitely come to this particular website and see what is the gas cost. And the gas cost is generally given in the form of, in the term of GWE, right? So right now you can see here it's a 113, which is relatively cheaper as compared to what was in the morning. I'm in the PST, US PST time zone. My morning time, it was around 180 to 200, right? So this is something you should always be careful about, or you should be always watchful when you're trying to do any activity, especially related to swap, mint, or buy certain things on Ethereum network, right? So this is something that I come to this come for on this website. Another thing that I look at it is that I come here for the ZenFT just to understand how many ZenFT have been minted, what are the values of those ZenFT, okay? And on the right hand side you see $2.627 million. That is the trading volume. So out of all the minted ZenFT, not everything is tradable. Only, you can see here it says 308. So it's a very, I think it's 1% of the entire total amount of ZenFT that has been minted is currently tradable. So you can understand the future of this project right from this data statistics, because people are not willing to trade, but rather they are willing to hold it and probably claim the Zen at a future point of time, and then probably sell Zen or use the Zen tokens for their future, for any future projects or protocols, so that they can burn and get new tokens or new utilities around the Zen ecosystem. So from this stats only you can figure out that how much demand is there for Zen tokens, and how much demand it's going to be there in the future. Okay, so this is a very important website that I usually come and track it on a daily basis. Another website that is equally important if you are there in the Zen ecosystem is the Xen.pub. Okay, and as I had told in the previous video, right, Xen ecosystem is not just based upon Ethereum mainnet or Ethereum chain, but it is supported right now on 10 different chains. And you can see here, these are the different chains. So 336, yeah, there are 10 different chains on which currently it is supported. Right now, for the focus of this video is only we are going to talk about Ethereum, Ethereum chain, okay, and we will be looking at Zen tokens on Ethereum chain and understand whether it is inflationary or deflationary. Okay, so there are 10 different chains here, and then you also have DBXen. DBXen, I'll be talking about that, but DBXen is basically where you burn Zen to get DXen. DXen is the token for DBXen, which you can stake and earn reward, Ethereum token as a reward. So it's a very useful token. You can get Ethereum token as a reward, and the APY, I think for that is pretty high compared to other DeFi projects. So this is a very attractive proposition, especially if you are in the Zen ecosystem. If you want to earn daily rewards in form of Ethereum, this is very useful. I mean, I saw certain stats on Twitter where they were saying that for every DXN, you get around 20 cents to 30 cents, which is 0.2 to $0.3 every day. So let's say you have 100 DXN, you can eventually earn 20 to $30 every day, right? In form of Ethereum. Okay, so this particular website not just gives you the Zen, which are on the multi chains, stats about the Zen, but also it talks about DBXen or DXN tokens, in terms of, you know, how many of those tokens have been burned, what are the DXN rewards that have been given so far, what is the daily DXN rewards, how much Ethereum has been accrued in this cycle of burn, which is currently, I think, the 44th day or 44th cycle which is going on right now. Okay, and so this will tell you how many DXen award has been claimed so far, how much Ethereum has been accrued, and how much Ethereum reward has been claimed, okay, by the people who have staked the DBXen token, DXen tokens, right? So this is another website which I track, and it's very useful, which will be using this in my current video to understand whether about the inflationary nature of Xen token, right? So now let's get straight into the data part and try to understand, what makes Xen inflationary token or a deflationary token, right? So let's get into the Excel sheet, okay? So let me give you a quick overview on how I have organized the data and what are we trying to achieve here, right? So the first thing is max days. So it's the 30th July. The reason I have considered 30th July, which I'll explain you here, that if you come here on the mint page here, and if you come here and say mint ZenFT, right, the maximum period that you can get, if you look at here, the maximum term days is which is maturity date is 30th of July 2024. Okay, so for this analysis, assumption is that all the ZenFT that have been minted so far, none of the ZenFT have a maturity date which surpasses or which goes beyond 30th July 2024. So that is the assumption, right? So all the ZenFT that have been minted so far falls within this date. Okay, so my analysis is limited to 30th of July 2024, which basically will tell me that what is my current supply plus whatever ZenFT that have been minted, which has got a maturity date of either 30th July or less than that. That should give me the total supply of Xen that I expect to receive by 30th of July, right? So that's why I have taken a max maturity days. Let's make it a maturity days of 30th July. Okay, now see, there are two aspects to it, right? One is the supply side and other is the burn side, right? So I talked about that, correct? That we need to understand the supply aspect of Xen ecosystem, and then we need to understand the burn aspect of Xen tokens, right? So supply side, where do we stand right now? Let's look at it. So as I said, I'm considering supply till 30th of July, right? 30th of July, right? So first thing is, let's understand how many ZenFT have been minted so far or have been purchased so far, and how many tokens these ZenFTs are going to generate till 30th of July. Okay, so for this, what I have done is, as I said, I'm going to refer to these websites. So I have taken this data from xenturbo.io, where it says that ZenFT state. So I understand, or my assumption is that so far 32,664 ZenFT have been minted, which has got a combined value of $211 million approximately, which is based upon this price. Okay, the price which you see, which is the current price, right? So let me put the current price so that we show you the data as on the making of this video. Okay, so if you look at here, this is the value which is of the ZenFT, right? And this value is getting derived. My assumption is that based upon the total number of Xen tokens it's going to generate in the future times the current price. Okay, so I try to validate that, and to some extent it matches my assumption. Okay, so let's say current price is 0.503974. If I multiply that with the total number of Xen tokens which is going to be minted on the maturity date out of these Xen NFT, right? That value should accumulate to $209 million, approximately $210 million, right? So if I divide this total value by the Xen crypto price, right? I must get the total number of Xen tokens it's going to give me over by 30th of July, right? So I did that calculations, and based on that calculation, my Xen NFT that I should have from these NFTs, Xen NFT, right? The total number of Xen tokens that these Xen NFTs are going to produce is around 51 trillion by 30th of July. Okay. Now, as I said, this assumption I'm making here is that this value is based upon the price of today's price of Xen times the total number of tokens these NFT going to generate in the future by this date, right? Now I wanted to validate this assumption. Okay, so what I did was I went to OpenSea, right? OpenSea gives you all the Xen NFT that have been minted. They automatically get listed as somebody mints on the website, on this website, on Xen.network website. These NFT get automatically get listed on this OpenSea website. So I actually went and selected Xenturion, right? So I got 10,257 results. Okay, and as I told you, the max date is 30th of July. So anything Xenturion that you see here, right, the max date or max maturity date would be 30th of July, not beyond that, right? So it is 10,257, right? And now I own some Xenturion in my account, and on the maturity date around July, the total number of Xen token it's going to give me is around 3 billion Xen tokens, right? So if you multiply 10,257 Xenturion with 3 billion, you get around 30 trillion tokens, Xen tokens, right? So just talking about Xenturion, right, my value here is coming around 30 trillion, right? So additional 21 trillion could be for the other class of Xen NFT, right? So there are, as I told you, there are multiple Xen NFT class, right? For example, if you come here, you have a three different category of Xen NFT, right? Apex, Limited, Collector, and within Collector itself, you can have multiple class, right? So Xenturion is the highest class where you get the maximum number of tokens, right? Below that comes Amethyst, which probably you get around 1 to 1.5 billion tokens if you are minted in the last 2 months, and the probably maturity date would be somewhere around next year, February to April or May. Okay, after that it becomes Xenturion, right? So like that, so number of tokens that you get from these lower classes of ZenFT would be much lower as compared to Xenturion. So even if you go by this data, I must get somewhere around 51 trillion, okay, Xen tokens. Again, this is only coming from the ZenFT, right? I also assume that there would be individual mints, which we talked about, right? So if you come to this website here, and if you go to mint, there would be people who would have individually minted on this website. So from there also they would be getting Xen tokens. But the thing here is, and which is something that was surprising to me today, I saw one Twitter post where the person was trying to claim 15 million of Xen tokens through this mint. Okay, and the claim fee was coming around 45 to 47 dollar, and his the total value of those 15 million Xen tokens that he was trying to claim was somewhere around 48 or 49 dollars. So there was hardly a difference of $1, and so the person was asking on Twitter whether he should really claim, because the gas fee itself is coming as much as the the number of tokens he's going to claim, right? So my hunch is, or my gut feeling is, that in the future, people who have individually minted, uh, probably they are going to get rugged, in the sense like they would not be able to claim, because the claim cost would be more than the value of Xen tokens that they would be claiming. Again, this is my assumption, considering that the Ethereum gas fee remains high. Of course, if the Ethereum gas fees goes low, this assumption becomes null and void, right? They would be able to clear. But for my analysis, I have just considered Xen NFT. Okay, so if you add the individual claim also in this, then probably this number is going to go higher. So 51 trillion could become 60 trillions or even more, but so let's consider for this analysis to be on the conservative side, right? So this is 51 trillion. Then you current supply. So current supply, if you look at the website, it is around 11 trillion. So I have considered the current supply of 11 trillion. And so if you add these two, the total supply by 30th of July that we need to tackle is around 62 trillion. Okay, Zen tokens, right? Now, as I said, I have not considered individual mints. Okay. Another thing I would like to highlight here is that there is another website which is very equally important for the people who are there in the Xen ecosystem to follow, is the Xencosystem.org. This tells you what are the recent projects that have already been launched and what are the upcoming projects in the future, right? So if you look at the recent projects we have launched, is the Phoenix on the Matic, then Xen Knights, Zelon Mars, DBXen that we just talked about, Xen NFT, just talking about Xen Heads NFT, right? And then future projects are Phoenix on Ethereum, that is going to come on 13th of May. Xendoge, which is I think it is around 20th of May, it's going to get launched. And then other projects, right? So for my analysis, I have not considered Xen Knights because this particular project or this particular event has already happened. So my current supply already takes care of that, right? Because my current supply is after this event has happened. So I have not considered Xen Knights. I have not considered Xen Heads NFT. I have not considered Xen Heads NFT because I'm not aware of this ecosystem. I do not know how much Xen Heads NFT are burning. So I have not considered this, right? Zenlon Mars is XLON tokens. Sorry, I am not able to pronounce. So this one is a derivative of DBXen, right? So this Xlon tokens, you get it out of burning DBXen. So this does not really affect your Xen supply directly. Yeah, it does impact you through DBXen, right? But for our analysis, we have considered DBXen. That should be good enough for us to uh, complete our analysis, right? So this is about the recent projects. For the upcoming projects, I have considered Phoenix, Ethereum, which is going to get launched on Ethereum on 13th May. Then Xendoge, I have considered. I have also considered DBXen, okay, because this consumes or this burns the Xen on a daily basis. Like Phoenix will be burning Xen on Ethereum on a daily basis. Xendoge will start burning as they get launched on a daily basis. So anything from now onwards in the future, any protocol or project which is going to burn Xen, I have considered that for analysis, right? And these projects, since I'm not aware of them, especially I know that X1, which is the L1 layer, this is going to consume a lot of Xen, and in fact, if I am not wrong, Xen NFT could be burned to get these X1 tokens or Xen tokens. Xen is the token for X1 layer, right? So in that process, also a lot of Xen and Xen NFT would be burnt. But since this project has not launched, so I have not taken that because I don't have the complete data. So I have not taken that into my analysis. Okay, so I just wanted to show you this because this is a very useful data for our analysis. So coming back to, so we said that, okay, on the supply side, by max maturity days, we have to take care of 62.185 trillion Xen, right? Now let's understand the burn side of this entire ecosystem, how the burn side is going to happen, okay, and what does the data tell us, right? So let's talk about Phoenix, right? So to understand how much token Xen tokens Phoenix would be burning, we need to understand how much Xen tokens it has burned on Polygon. Okay, so let's deep dive into that data, because that will give us a good indication about how much Zen token it is going to get going to burn on Ethereum chain. Okay, so for that I have come here on Xen.pub, which I mentioned about initially in the video. And if you come to Phoenix Polygon, okay, and so you will see here so far the Zen on Polygon is denoted by Mzen, right? So that's another thing that you need to understand. Like for example, on Binance, Zen is called as Bzen. On Polygon, it's Mzen. Avalanche, it's called Azen. So you need to understand this also. Okay, so we are just talking about Mzen here, because as we know, Phoenix has already got launched on Polygon. I think it was on 29th or in April. I think it's 29th April it was. Yeah, I think 6 days. Yeah, it was 29th April. So between 29th April until today, that is 5th of May, it has already burned 5.750 trillion of Zen tokens on Polygon. Okay, understand, this is not, we are not talking about Ethereum, we are talking about Polygon. So right, so Polygon, if you go and look at the entire supply on the Polygon. Okay, so let me just change it to Polygon. uh, yeah, if you talk about the entire supply, it's 31 trillion. Okay, 31.8 trillion. Whereas if you look at the Ethereum, it is roughly around 11 trillion. So one third supply. If you just take the division, Polygon is 3 times more than Ethereum in terms of the total supply, right? So coming back to my analysis, um, yeah, we were at where is the Xen.pub, right? Yeah, so we were here. So far we have burnt around 5.75 trillion of Mzen on Polygon, right? And if you look at the daily burn, there is a data here which you can look at it here. This graph tells you what is the daily burn, right? So if I look at the tabular view, on 29th April it burnt 4.198 trillion of Mzen. Okay, but on 30th there was a drastic dip, and it was around 676 billion tokens, right? And after that you can see here it is dropping. So as compared to the first day, it is 1/6 of the first day on in fact one seventh of the first day on the second day. Okay, so 30th April, if you look at this number, this is 1/7 of 4 trillion, 4.198 trillion, right? And then on 1st of May it goes even further down. So you can see here 4th May it became 96.4, and 5th May it is becoming in fact 1/4 of what was there yesterday, right? So there's a drastic dip in terms of how the Zen tokens are getting burned for getting Phoenix tokens, where people are also able to stake Phoenix for future rewards, right? So if I try to simulate the same data to Ethereum chain, right, and considering that Ethereum is 1/3 supply of Polygon, right? So since Ethereum has got around 11 trillion, right, current supply, I have considered that when we launch, so this May 20, sorry, before that, this May 23 basically doesn't tell you, it's not a 23rd of May. It is basically tell you month of May, year is 2023, right? So this is June in 2023. So that's how you need to read. You don't read like 23rd of May or 23rd of June. It's basically, you can think of it as month of May, month of June, month of July, like that you have to read. Okay, so I'm thinking that when the Phoenix launches on 13th of May, I'm not expecting on Ethereum that it will go to like since on Polygon it burnt around 4 trillion out of 31 trillion, right? So roughly approximately 1/8. Okay, I'm thinking that on Ethereum chain it will when it burns, right, on the first day probably it will burn somewhere around 800 or 700 billion tokens on Ethereum chain, Xen tokens on Ethereum. And then on the for the rest of the month of May, it maybe I think let's take let's be a little conservative. Let me put it as 1.5 trillion. Okay, just to be on the safer side, because I want to give it a more conservative data here. Okay, so let's consider that in the month of May we burn roughly around 1/8 or 1/9 of the entire supply. So current supply sits at 11 trillion, and if you do around 1/8 or 1/9, it will come to approximately 1.5 trillion. Okay, so 1.5 trillion, let's assume that on the first day it burns around 1 trillion, that is on when it gets launched. And for the remaining days, the way it is dipping for Polygon, for Ethereum also it will dip drastically. And let's say for the remaining days, in the month of May it burns around 500 billion. So overall, let's consider in the month of May, Phoenix project burns around 1.5 trillions of token, okay, of Xen. Okay, now let's talk about June. So June I'm considering, because in the if you look at the data on the Polygon, you can see here there's a drastic, let's go back to the graph. You can see here the graph is dipping very fast. Okay, so I'm not considering that for the month of May or June. This Because of this dip, the total burn would be significantly lower as compared to what is April in May. And similarly, if you go to June, this will again subside or reduce as compared to May. So it's going to be kind of a, what we call it as a graph which is like 1 over x in mathematical terms, which we call it as y equal to 1 over x, which basically means as x goes to infinity, this graph goes and meets almost the x-axis, right? It will not cross it, but it will kind of become very very close to x-axis. Okay, so I think it's called exponential graph or something, not exponential, but it's 1 over x inverse function. Okay, so this is behaving like an inverse function. Okay, so if I take that into consideration, what I have done is for June I have considered that only 1/3 of the tokens which it burned in May, it will only burn 1/3 of Xen tokens. So I have taken 0.33 and multiplied that with what's there in May, and the same goes on. So that you can see here the number of Xen tokens which gets burned keeps on getting reduced as we move towards our target time frame maturity days, which is 30th of July, right? Now let's talk about DBXen. So DBXen, again, if I go to the graph on Xen.pub, okay, if you look at DBXen, um, if you look at the burn rate and the burn graph, right, you can see here in the month of May, if you come to the month of May, it is stabilizing around 20 billion per day, around 20-25 billion per day. Okay, so if you multiply 25 billion with 30, it's approximately around 750 billion. Okay, but yeah, I mean, this may go up or may go down depending upon the Ethereum rewards, right? But my understanding is that the mint of Xen, right, Xen token is going to become higher and higher. I mean, the cost of minting Xen token is going to become higher because of the higher gas fee. So I think this and since we get DBXen out of burning Xen tokens, this is going to become more and more difficult. So I am not thinking that this will go back to these numbers, right? Like for example, on 20th of April it was 76 billion, and then on around 10th of April it topped around 153 billion. I don't think it will go up to that numbers. So roughly I would say around 25 billion it will burn. So for my analysis, what I have done is DBXen, okay, I have considered that in the month of May, because that's when the maximum actually, if we can look at the data of DBXen. I downloaded it. Okay, so for if you look at here March data, the total DBXen that got burned was 487 billion. Okay, Xen tokens, right? If you look at April, the total Xen token that were burned is around 2.338 billion. Okay, so what I am doing is for the month of May also, I am considering that we start, let's say in the month of May, we burn around 2.338 trillion, okay, which seems to be highly unlikely based on the data here. If you look at here data, it's going to it's kind of getting stabilized around 25 billion per day. So going by that, it should not exceed 1 trillion at the max. Okay, but as I said, I want to be on the conservative side, right? I don't want to assume certain things and then underestimate. So for I have taken it to the stretch. I have taken it to the max, you can say. Okay, so I'm assuming that in the month of May we burn 2.338 trillion DBZen. Okay, but after May, I've considered a factor of 0.75. So I'm saying that if you are burning 2.338 trillion in the month of June, it will burn only 1.753 trillion, which is 0.75 times what it burned in May. So like that, I have assumed a 0.75 times the previous month. So it keeps on reducing it, similar to the way it reduced for Phoenix. For DBZen also, it's going to reduce over a period of time. Okay, and these are all monthly figures, right? As I told you, this is a month of May. Consider this as a month of May. This is month of entire June. This is not 23rd June, for the entire month of June, right? So these are the figures for DBZen over the next 12 months, or next 13 or 14 months rather, because we are in the month of May, uh, till July. Okay, because July is the max maturity day, so that's what we have considered. So based on that, as I said, I have taken much more on the conservative side. I don't expect in the month of May to exceed 1 trillion, but I've taken 2.338 trillions, which matches what was burned in the month of April. So I just considered that for month of May. Okay, so based on that, I've taken. So this is how I have considered the DBZen. And let's coming to Xendoge. Xendoge, I explained in my earlier video that you can also go through. Xendoge data, if you look at here, the total Xendoge that it can burn is, as I explained in my previous video, which you can go and see my playlist, it's around 17.78 trillion. So it cannot exceed this number. And I had given the rationale why, because the total Xendoge, there is a max capped supply of Xendoge, which is 50 billion, right? So if you have to, if you burn Xen, the amount of Xen that will be burned to get 50 billion of Xendoge is around 17.780. Okay, so the total supply, you can say total Xen supply that would be required to burn is 17.78 trillion. So I had explained you about different tiers and why it may come till tier 6, and then it will start burning at a slower pace, that I had explained in my previous video. So based on that, I'm expecting that in the month of May, the total Xen that would be burned to get Xendoge, the maximum it will reach is 6 trillion. It would be less than that, my assumption. It will be somewhere around 4 trillions. But as I said, I want to do this analysis considering the maximum, rather taking things to the maximum level, so that uh, I land up in a very, very conservative way, and that should set us the baseline for us. Okay, so for the month of May, I've taken 6 trillion Xendoge, 6 trillion Xen that would be burned for Xendoge. June onwards, I have taken 0.5. Okay, I'm not expecting like Phoenix, it's dropping by 2/3. I'm not expecting in the case of Xendoge to drop by 66%. Okay, I'm expecting that the rate of burn of Xen will only reduce by 50% in the following month. So if it burns 6 trillion, it will, in the month of June, it will burn 3 trillion of Xen. In the month of July, it will burn 1.5 trillion. And as I said, this total as it keeps burning, cannot exceed this number 17780, that is 17.780 trillion, because as I told you, this is the total number of Zen token that will be required to burn to get 50 billion of Xendoge, right? So this is your max supply you can think of. So over a period of time, this is how it's going to behave, and this is how the Zen tokens are going to burn, right? If you think that it's going to be different from this, do put it in the comment section and I can look into that. But as I said, these are assumptions based on my observations, my understanding, based on certain data here. Okay, I had explained why we will come to 6 trillion, roughly around 5 to 6 trillions of Zen token burns in the month of May. And I had explained about tier 1 to tier 6 and what happens at the tier 6, right? I had explained that in my previous video. So based on that, I have to consider 6 trillion, okay, in the month of May. So if you take this, okay, then the last column gives you the remaining supply as we move through every month, each month. So May, June, July, August, September, right? So my remaining supply, so my total supply that we need to tackle is 62 trillion, okay, by 30th July, right? So this 62.185 trillion I have taken at the very top, okay, and then for getting the remaining supply by the end of the month of May, I will have is 52.347 trillion, which you get it by adding these three numbers, that is Phoenix plus DBXen plus Xendoge. Okay, add them up and subtract it from the total supply, that is, which is this figure, which I'm getting from this calculations, right? So if you subtract that, you'll get 52.347 trillion. And if you go on doing that, by the month of July, you will still land up with 38.72 trillion of Zen. Okay, understand it here. By July next year, July 2024, you will still land up with 38.7 trillion as compared to the current figure. Currently we are sitting at 11.059 trillion, okay, which is approximately more than three times. Okay, again, we have just considered these three projects. So some of you might say, oh, we are coming up with so many projects, right? X1 and other protocol and projects. Exactly. So that is the optimistic part of this, that, and this is a call to the Zen community and the founder, right, that if we need to maintain this 11 trillion, right, then we have to burn around 27 trillion of Zen using your various projects and protocol that we were initially talking about, right? So X1, Xen tokens, X1 layer, right? Then Moon Party, Game, and the other projects and protocol, right? Those projects and protocols should be able to burn around 27 trillions Zen tokens if we need to maintain the current supply by next year, at least. Okay, I'm saying at least it has to burn. If it goes beyond that, of course it becomes a deflationary, right? Because as I said, if the supply goes down from here, it becomes a deflationary. If the supply goes up from here, it becomes inflationary, right? So my point is, if you subtract 11 trillion from 38.7, it's roughly around 27.7 trillion Zen token, right? So until and unless your other layer, right, X1, Moon Party, Game, and other projects and protocols which are coming up, right, until and unless these projects and protocols do not consume minimum 27 trillions or more, until that happens, our Zen token would be inflationary in nature, at least by till 30th of July. Okay, beyond that, as we are seeing right now, the cost of minting of Zen is becoming very high, right? If you go and if you try to, let me show you, and let me put forth this point, because this is very important. If I go here and try to mint, let's say if I mint any, let's look at collector, and let's take the maximum Zenturion. Okay, so if you take a Zenturion and try to mint it, your cost of gas is going to be pretty high. and which we will see it here. It is 6,003 Ethereum, 6,009. Okay, and the current, if you go onto the open sea, okay, if you go onto the open sea and if you look at Centurion, current cost is 0.76 Ethereum. Okay, as compared to your minting cost, where you are finding, we are seeing a figure of 3 Ethereum. So there is an arbitrage. I mean, I'm just telling you, there is an arbitrage opportunity where you, if you buy it, it's pretty cheap right now. It's 0.76 ETH as compared to minting. So my assumption is that in the future, I don't think we are going to have additional mints beyond this maturity date. I mean, there would definitely be mint, but it will be significantly less because of the gas fee, which has increased disproportionately. The gas fee becomes too high. Not only that, not only for the new mint, but even to claim your mint already minted tokens, Zen tokens, you may have to pay a very higher fee, which could be more than the value of the mint that you are going to get or claim. So it may become unprofitable, and it may become undesirable to mint it, and so a lot of people are going to just leave, or they may not be able to claim their Zen tokens. So a lot of those tokens are going to be dropped. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that until 30th July, right, if we are not able to consume 27 trillion of Zen tokens using these additional projects like Xen or Moon Party or Zen.game or other projects and protocol, till then it will be inflationary in nature. Okay, beyond 30th of July, as I said, that the minting is cost is becoming very high. I don't think we are going to mint at the same rate the way we have minted so far. It's going to be far less because of the gas fee. I think beyond 30th July, it is going to be deflationary in nature. Okay, slowly as we get into later part of 24 or 25, uh, that is the time frame I'm thinking of, that it will become a deflationary in nature, especially also because I'm not sure if X1 or other projects and protocol can consume 27 trillion worth of Zen tokens in the next 12 months. Okay, if they do so, well, wonderful. I mean, we are all going to enjoy, we are all going to have a moon party, right? There is no doubt about that, but that's one point. So supply has to decrease. Second thing is the entire Bitcoin, entire crypto ecosystem is going to grow. So one is the supply side of economics, other side is the entire ecosystem, entire crypto ecosystem is going to grow in the future. So definitely that will also jack up the price. But as people say that, some of the people that I've seen are saying that on Twitter, that if you buy a Centurion, you are going to get 10 times advantage right away, because you will be able to mint 3 trillion tokens, right? Right now, I mean, you will be able to claim 3 trillion tokens at a future date, right? So you get 10 times advantage there itself in terms of the price, right? In terms of the number of tokens that you're going to get. And if there is a 10 times appreciation of the price, so effectively you will get 100x, okay, by next year, right, around the July time frame, or around July 2024 or June 2024, that time frame. But my argument is that if your supply goes 3 times, then you're not going to get, even if there is a price appreciation of 10 times, you are only going to get advantage of 30x, not 100x. Okay, so supply side of economics is equally important, as we are talking about the burning mechanism, as we are talking about new project and protocol. So this is a call for the entire this is a call to entire Zen community, and also the founder, that we must concentrate on these new protocols, or these new upcoming projects and new protocols, and we this entire community has to expand, the number of users have to increase, so that we are able to burn these Zen tokens to make it really deflationary. Okay, so I know, I would like to conclude my video, because it was a very long video, and I would like to conclude it now. But hopefully you like this video, and if you like it, please do smash the like button and subscribe my video so that I can keep giving you such videos in the future. This was a very candid exercise. I did a lot of research, and based on that, I have come up with some data around it. If you find these data assumptions are not 100% correct, please do put that into my comments section so that I can learn from them why these comments or why these assumptions are not correct, and I can also correct my data accordingly. Okay, so thank you so much for listening to this entire video.